So yesterday on Thursday, Bitcoin's price dropped by more than 10%, and loads of bloggers started looking for reasons for this drop. Beyond the technical analysis, of course, they were looking for anything that could be explaining a sudden drop of 10%, despite the fact that it is a correction. We are going through the correction, and I've been talking about it. This is a perfectly regular correction, nothing out of the ordinary. However, a report in a trade blog suggested that there had been what is known as a double spend, which is the occurrence of the same transaction being spent twice. And this is one of the topics that we will be talking in today's episode. Also, I will talk about the current possibly another court case starting about this time about the Bitcoin's white paper. And you can probably guess by whom. Of course, fake Toshi, Craig Wright, the person who claims to be Satoshi Nakamoto, despite for many years now failing to prove and provide any evidence about it, and even previous court cases finding him to be fraudulently claiming this and creating fraudulent transactions and buying many old Bitcoin addresses in order to be able to back up these kind of claims. There is a lot of evidence about Craig Wright not being Satoshi, but he's got a cult following that would not take any evidence as the truth. Pretty much what we've seen with other cults and everything. So this is yet another topic that we will be discussing in this video. So welcome to episode 137 of Crypto Corner. Of course, we're going to go through the markets as usual, and we're going to talk about the hot topics. Let's get started. So first, a quick roundup of the markets. As we see, we have actually started recovering already from yesterday's plunge. We have gained a little bit. Yesterday, we dropped in Bitcoin to around 28,000 and 29,000 very briefly. We're now sitting at 31,800. So we started already the recovering phase. However, in the past week, we are still 17% below the prices from 7 days ago. Ethereum also did a correction, 1,197 currently. We were at 1,300 actually in my previous video. The one coin that actually didn't do a big drop during this during yesterday's plunge was Polkadot. Polkadot went down to around 16, just briefly below it, $15.5, but it's currently at 16.48. This is also slightly below its highs of 17 and 18 and even 19, I believe it was just a few days ago. But it is actually the one that experienced the least correction, and we can see in the last 7 days it is actually in profit, 16.72% up in the last week. ADA Cardano was also briefly at around 28 cents. Today is at 33, so it's making a very fast recovery, better than what Bitcoin is doing. Ripple is not doing great at all, 26.95 at the moment, cents, not dollars. And it is higher than yesterday, but it is much lower than a few days ago when it was at around 30 cents. Also, Chainlink did a very brief correction and it recovered quite quickly. It is now at $20 again. Yesterday it went down to 17, I believe, or 18 at least. I think I bought a few at 18, so it definitely went to 18. I'm not sure if it went any lower, but currently $20, and we see that in the last 7 days that is a 14% profit, 14% increase. So overall, things are looking good in the market. As I said, these kind of corrections are bound to happen. They are not scary at all, at least for me. These are not corrections that should be taken as a reversal of the actual bull trend. We are still in a bull market and we're continuing the bull trend. Now, can we go lower? Yes, we can. I've actually drawn here two support levels that we have to look out for. The first one is at around 28,000. We tried actually to go as low as that and we didn't. We bounced just before we reached that level. So basically just below that level is the 50-day moving average, and this is right now at around 27,800. So if we continue going down, this will be the first stop. So this will be the first support that we'll have to hold. If we don't hold this support, then only we can look into going probably lower to the lower support, which is currently sitting at around 23,500. And then we have the 100 moving average, which is sitting at around 22,000. Of course, depending on how soon we go there, because in the next few days that will go up to around 22,000. So these are the support levels that we currently hold, and I'm pretty confident that we will be bouncing up from these levels, if not from the first support, because we see that we are really trying to challenge this support level. So it's very likely that we go there, and if we stay there for another couple of days, we might actually break down from it. The weekend now will be quite telling in what's going to happen over the next week and everything, so we'll have to watch out for these support levels. But the first support is the 28,500, and this is holding very well. We still have not been below the 28,000 range. We haven't reached that support, so this so far is proving to be a strong support. We'll see if this will hold. Also, as I said, we have the lower support here and 23,800, and before that even we have the 50-day moving average, which we haven't touched as well. And I feel that this is the real challenge here. We are trying to go to the 50-day moving average to test if this will actually hold. So this is an important price level here. Currently that is at 27,900, so just below the 28,000 mark. And the weekend is gonna show us whether we will be getting there or whether we will be bouncing up from here. Of course, Bitcoin is dragging most of the other markets down with it, and this is why we are seeing the drop in Ethereum and Cardano, Litecoin, pretty much all of them. But as I said, they're actually recovering much better now than what Bitcoin is doing. Bitcoin is still 17% down in the last week, while the likes of Polkadot and Cardano and Chainlink are actually in profit. They're up in the last week rather than down. So even though they are kind of correlated to Bitcoin, we see right now that the out season being in full swing is actually performing quite well. We also see profits in Aave, 17% in the last week, 10% in the last day. We also see Tezos going up. Tezos was one of the coins that I called as my coins of the week, and it is now up 9% in the last day, $2.91. So this is a very good recovery for Tezos. And what else did I call in my previous video? Atom is 4% down today since yesterday, but it is only 3.55% down in the last week compared to Bitcoin's 17% down. I think it's still a much better performance. Another one that I called was Kusama. As you know, I am holding Kusama, 19% up in the last week as opposed to 70% down for Bitcoin. And UMA is one of the top gainers, in fact, 15% in the last day, 24% in the last week. This is a coin that I used to trade earlier and I kind of neglected. So this is a coin that I will keep an eye on right now. You should also keep an eye on it. If you see a good dip of this coin, maybe it will be a good time to accumulate some. HBAR is not doing great in the last day, 13%, still 65% up in the last 7 days. So that was also a good trade for me. I have to check if I'm actually holding still or have I sold all of them. I can't remember. That's the thing, when you trade quite a few coins, it is difficult to monitor everything. Sometimes you neglect some of the accounts on different exchanges and you focus on the other exchanges, and later on you realize, hold on, I didn't actually sell this. So you always have to stay on top of it. Perhaps it's not a great idea to diversify too much. Maybe diversify into 5, 6, 8 coins rather than 15 or 20 like myself. But this is how it works with me. I always try to keep my coins to a narrow amount, like not too many of them, but I end up spreading into too many. And one of the reasons is liquidity, because I do trade with high volume, and you can't buy high volume of a coin that doesn't have a very high trading volume in the first place. So Of course, the top coins are the ones with the higher trading volume, but I do trade a lot of coins that have, like Kusama, is not with a very high trading volume. And I have some Kusama on KuCoin Exchange and on Binance as well, but on KuCoin Exchange especially, it is really not a high trading volume. So this is why I spread into different coins, because if you want to quickly go in and out of a coin, especially in big moves, and if it drops fast, you have to sell fast, and this is why you need a big trading volume. Anyway, if you're not very experienced, guys, and if you got scared during this sellout yesterday and you were tempted to start selling or anything like that, you might actually make a loss from that, because I see that many people are getting scared when the prices are dropping and they start selling, and what they do is they end up selling low, buying high. This is, it's counterintuitive. Everyone knows that this is not how you should do it, but it turns out that many people are still doing this mistake. And, they're buying, let's say they bought Bitcoin at 34, 35,000. Yesterday went to 30,000. They got scared. They thought, oh, this is going down to 20,000, so I better sell it now at 30 and buy it again at 22 or 25 or 20, or whatever they were thinking. And this might not happen, really. I mean, we could go to 27, we could go to even 24 if we're lucky. This will be great accumulation point, but it is not a guarantee. We really don't know whether we will get there, because there's still quite a lot of bulls. And just yesterday, actually, we saw yet another report about, let me find it here, was it Blockport reported that Grayscale bought another 16,000, more than 16,000 Bitcoin in a single day, worth $590 million. And that was 18 times more than the actual daily Bitcoin that was mined. So with these kind of purchases, and they're not stopping, there's many more institutional investors that are not being monitored by Blockport, and they're not, we're not seeing reports about every institution, every fund that is actually purchasing Bitcoin in bulk. A lot of the times they do it over the counter, so it's not really visible that easily. I mean, Grayscale are constantly having transactions and everything reported, so we see that there's records about their transactions, but not everyone is being that transparent. So the buying, it keeps going. There's actually a lot more, almost 1% more. There is an increase in the Bitcoin addresses holding more than 1,000 Bitcoin. So during this drop, the whales are accumulating Bitcoin rather than selling. So as I said, always, you have to follow smart money. Do what the smart money is doing. Don't get scared. And if you are getting scared, then, as I said previously, do yourself a favor. If you're not experienced in trading, go to this exchange here that I'm using, DYOR. DYOR is an exchange that is doing copy trading. They allow you to duplicate the trades of professional traders. You can see the professional traders, you can see their performance, you can pick a trader that you want to follow. If trading is not really for you, if you feel that you're not doing great with trading, then do copy trading. Also, another reason to go for the DYOR exchange is the fact that they have not only copy trading, of course, they have crypto options, something that not many exchanges are offering. With options, you don't actually buy the actual cryptos, but you are purchasing contracts that are based on possible future price scenarios. So they are quite a powerful tool for advanced users, but these are for advanced users. Also, for advanced users, you have margin trading, and margin traders only make small deposits and trade with leveraged positions, so you can actually trade with much higher amount than you actually have in your account, but again, you have to be experienced for that. Also, you can leverage on future contracts up to 100 times, 80 times, 50 times, 100 times. Yet again, this is for the more experienced ones. Don't get tempted into going into leverage trading if you're not experienced, but the option is there. If you're experienced, you can do that, and you can do it from your mobile phone, because they have the mobile app, which is quite useful. They have a very easy and simple user interface, which I really like. And you can do, if you're not experienced, then you can do demo trading. You can actually work with a demo account and you do some trading, not with your actual money. in order to test the waters and see how it goes. And let's not forget that they also have a lot of welcome bonuses. Up to 258 USD Tether you can win in welcome bonuses. There's beginner's bonus. You're actually earning even just for setting up your username and to confirming your phone and email. And of course, you also have bonuses for trading, your first trades, deposit bonuses. You have the first deposit. If you deposit half a Bitcoin, of course, I know half a Bitcoin is a lot of money, but many people trade with even bigger amounts than that. Half a Bitcoin will get you 50 USD Tether. 0.05 Bitcoin will get you $5 bonus. So, there's quite a lot of bonuses to be earned, and this is also a great incentive. This is why their user base right now is growing quite a lot. It is an exchange that is relatively new, but not that new. It's been around since 2019. It is Singapore registered. They have all kinds of licenses, and they are regulated, and they have licenses in America as well as Singapore, and they also have licenses in Estonia and Australia. And it is a global exchange, so pretty much everyone can access that. And it is also one of the very few exchanges that offer you, besides cryptocurrencies, also derivatives such as gold, silver, mini Dow Jones, Nasdaq 100, crude oil, and many other ones. So it has quite a few unique features, and this is why I'm actually quite a supporter of DYOR. Now, back to the hot topics, and the Bitcoin double spend that never happened is actually the title here at stocknewsfeed.com. In fact, yesterday, BitMEX Research posted a tweet where they said that there was a stale Bitcoin block, and at the height of 666,833, Slash Pool has beaten F2 Pool in a race. So as you know, sometimes it happens that blocks are being mined at the same time. The software that people are running in order to solve algorithms and mine a new block sometimes finds two blocks at the same time. Only one of them can actually be added to the blockchain and be considered a valid block. The other one gets left aside, and it appears as if a small double spend was detected, and that was the tweet that actually started this whole rumor that there was a double spend on Bitcoin. So the article here actually clarifies that this was not really the case. So basically there was a transaction of 0.0006263 Bitcoin, and that was sent with a very small fee, something like 1 Satoshi. And of course that transaction was pending for quite some time, so the person who was sending the transaction decided to bump it. As you know, there are services where you can, it's called replace by fee, you can actually increase the fee that you're paying for this transaction, and then it can get confirmed faster. However, as the person did the replace by fee transaction and upped the fee, the first transaction that was already pending for quite some time got approved and recorded on a block, and then his replace by fee transaction with the higher fee got recorded on a separate block. So it seemed like the same transaction was recorded on two separate blocks, which would be a double spend. However, it didn't actually quite happen because, as the article here reports, the second transaction, the one with the higher fee, in fact, only went into a stale block, meaning that the block was not added to the actual blockchain, and it's called a stale block. As you know, when blocks are being mined, only the block that is recorded on the longest chain, which has the greatest proof of work effort invested in it, is the one that is considered valid. So one of the blocks was recorded on the actual blockchain, the other one was what we call a stale block. So therefore a double spend never actually occurred. But it managed, this tweet, it managed to actually fuel the discussion about Bitcoin's double spend, Bitcoin's security, therefore, because one of the strongest features of Bitcoin and why it became such a powerful tool is the fact that it eliminated the risk of double spending. This is really what Bitcoin did. Its predecessors, there were other attempts at creating digital cash. They didn't quite solve that issue. with digital transactions, it's very easy to copy and paste things and double spend. This is why Bitcoin succeeded, because it eliminated the possibility of double spend, and a threat of finding a transaction that was double spent is really a threat at the security of Bitcoin and blockchain in general. And it was a big deal. This is why many people were kind of blaming this for the 10% drop in Bitcoin. However, I'm pretty sure that most of the traders and people who are buying or selling Bitcoin were not even aware of this happening. So I don't really think that this has anything to do with the actual drop in Bitcoin. As you know, I am more of a technical analysis kind of guy, and I believe that the correction that we are currently going through is a much needed and quite justified typical correction, typical behavior of a bull phase. We have to go through these corrections. Speaking of the Bitcoin white paper, here comes the next headline that is one of the hottest topics since yesterday, and it is the fact that Craig Wright, the person who falsely claims to be Satoshi Nakamoto, is now trying to take to court two websites. In fact, one of them, because he sent a cease and desist basically letter to two websites. One is bitcoin.org, the other one is bitcoincore.org, for having the Bitcoin white paper on their website. They have been hosting the Bitcoin white paper on their websites for many years. Bitcoin.org is in fact the original website where the Bitcoin white paper was first hosted, and that was done by Satoshi himself. As you can see, this is in fact the original copy of the Bitcoin white paper. Satoshi Nakamoto, here's his email, and right there is bitcoin.org website that officially he is basically naming as the official website for Bitcoin. Now, Craig Wright has been filing a lot of patents and licenses and a lot of different claims, of ownership to do with blockchain technology and Bitcoin itself. So it is very possible that some court gave him, the trademark or the patent for the Bitcoin white paper. So he claims that he is the owner of that license for the white paper. And it is possible that he has some right to claim. However, Bitcoin is open source, as you know, and it kind of goes against the whole value of open source and decentralization, this whole thing that Craig Wright is doing now. This is the official response by bitcoin.org. They say yesterday both bitcoin.org and bitcoincore.org received allegations of copyright infringement of the Bitcoin white paper by lawyers representing Craig Stephen Wright. In this letter, they claim Craig owns the copyright to the paper, the Bitcoin name, and ownership of bitcoin.org. They also claim he is Satoshi Nakamoto, the pseudonymous creator of Bitcoin and the original owner of Bitcoin.org. We believe these claims are without merit and refuse to take the paper down. Also, they say that the Bitcoin white paper was included in the original Bitcoin project files, and there is a link where you can actually see that, with the project clearly published under the MIT license by Satoshi Nakamoto. We believe there is no doubt we have the legal right to host the Bitcoin white paper. Furthermore, Satoshi Nakamoto has a known PGP public key, therefore it is cryptographically possible for someone to verify themselves to be Satoshi Nakamoto. Unfortunately, Craig has been unable to do this. And they basically say that they will keep the white paper hosted on their website until further notice. So if there is a court case, it looks likely that there will be, because that's what Craig Wright is known for. He opens court cases for everything, including just people calling him a fraud on Twitter. Which is everyone is calling him a fraud, besides his cult following. Of course, he has a cult following, and they refuse to take any evidence or anything that is going against their core values. And they do believe that he is Satoshi Nakamoto, despite the fact that Satoshi Nakamoto was never the kind of person to be talking about ownership. He was actually talking about decentralization and ownership by the whole community. community, and this is why everything is also voted for. And you know, it's all about community and decentralization. And all of a sudden we have a guy who claims to be Satoshi Nakamoto, who always claims talks about ownership and you know, filing for licenses and patents and all of these things that go completely against the core values of Bitcoin, blockchain, and decentralization. So you can think what you want about Craig Wright, but so far he has never proven to be Satoshi Nakamoto. And even people who have been in the space for many years, since the beginning of Bitcoin, they also discredit him as not being Satoshi Nakamoto. So we're going to see how this will play out. It was a really hot topic yesterday and today as well. People on Twitter are really fighting about it. They're taking, of course, either sides, and many people are talking about the fact that in reality, nobody would really benefit from this. It's going to be huge legal fees, and we don't even know whether the people behind Bitcoin.org have the capability to meet these kind of high legal fees. And this is probably what Craig Wright is really counting on. He has opened way too many court cases, and it's always because of the fact that he's taking to court people who are not necessarily as wealthy as him. Therefore, most likely they will not be able to defend themselves as well as he could. As you know, courts are not always about the actual truth. They're about evidences, and they're about discrediting evidences as well. So if you have a strong legal team, they can easily find ways to go around the truth. Unfortunately, a lot of the times it's literally just enough to discredit the opposition and to kind of prove that they don't really have a right claim, and that their evidence is not good enough or something like that, and that already dissolves the case. So a court case is not necessarily going to find the truth, and that is the sad reality. So this concludes today's episode of Crypto Corner. You can find it on multiple platforms, including BitTube, TokenTuber, Library, and of course on my blog crypto-corner.com. I hope you enjoyed this content, and if you did, give me the thumbs up, smash the like button. Also, if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you're notified when I'm posting a new video. Don't forget to check out the links in the description box. This is where I link all of the important crypto services that everyone should be using, things like exchanges and wallets and data aggregators websites or price prediction websites, and everything that you really need if you're in the crypto space, if you're an investor or a trader as well. And also, if you're new to the crypto space, check out my ebook Learn Crypto. You can find it in the description box, or you can go to learncryptonow.com. This is a beginner's guide, ultimate beginner's guide. There's everything in there from what is a cryptocurrency, how blockchains operate, what are the different cryptocurrencies, what are the differences between tokens and coins, how to buy cryptocurrency, what are the exchanges or the hardware wallets or the best wallets, how to safely store your cryptocurrencies. I'm also talking about my mistakes so that you can avoid, hopefully you can learn from my mistakes and avoid making these. Everyone who is new to the crypto space is bound to make mistakes, and it is important to take calculated risks. So make sure that you educate yourself. This is why I published this book not long ago, just a few months ago in fact, and I share with you all of my experience throughout the last 5 years with cryptocurrencies since I started investing in Bitcoin and later diversified into other altcoins as well. So check out the link and grab your copy as well. Thanks for staying until the end of this video. I appreciate that, and I'm signing off now. I'm gonna see you in the next one.